and what sort of kind of response are you expecting from the group coming off Saturday's game?
Yeah, I think obviously we've had a few days to regroup, recharge, and we've had some great community events as well. I think that's been just great to see the passion and the love for this team across the city. So I think it's just added another level to what it means to play here and why it's special to play here, and why we want to go out and be successful and play well. So yeah, had a good work day yesterday, I think, preparing in the areas we got to be better in, and obviously the level that we need to find consistently, and when momentum can swing throughout a game, just staying with it and grabbing it back and playing a good 60.
How would you describe the relationship you have with Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews?
Well, I played with Toews a couple of times, and I've known Pat just through maybe some opportunities training in the summertime, junior hockey, playing against each other internationally. So I would say mostly through that. I wouldn't say I know them maybe particularly well compared to some other players that I've played with or been around. But obviously, two elite players that have accomplished pretty much everything you can accomplish in this game. So a lot of respect for them, and obviously anytime you play against them, you want to make sure you're at your best and playing hard, knowing what they bring to the table.
Just considering, the speculation around their future, like, could you imagine seeing them in a different sweater in a few weeks here?
Well, now probably. I think considering the way they've been talking about it and kind of how that's been developing, but I think certainly, throughout their time in Chicago, they've have had a lot of success, and obviously been such a staple for the franchise and for them as a team. So I don't think he really ever thought it was going to possibly come to that point. But as I think when you're seeing it from the outside, just the way they've been talking about it, handling it in their situation now, why that's becoming more and more likely.
On the same note, you controlled your own destiny through the right you went through free agency. They're doing the same through the right they earned with their no movement clause. Do you respect how they're going about this part of their career?
Well, each scenario and I think each player is different. So I think they obviously have a tremendous amount of respect, I think, for the game and obviously for the team that they've played for and the success they've had. It's probably not an easy thing when you've played somewhere your whole career. I played somewhere for 9 years and it was extremely difficult, and they've been there longer, and they have won 3 Stanley Cups and everything they've accomplished. So can't be an easy situation. Just imagining if I was in their shoes, but I think obviously they want to probably do what's right, knowing them as people as I have and as players, and handle the situation the best they can.
What stands out to you the most about Kane's game on this?
Just an incredible player and skill set. I think that's just very rare in our league, and his ability to just control the pace of the game. He just seems how he can have the puck on his stick so much, and people always think, why don't you just hit him? And it's just amazing, his ability to slow the game down, create seams, create time and space, has ability to manipulate the opponent and be deceptive. It's just incredible. Sometimes it doesn't look like he's breathing or skating very hard, but the play just seems to go at the pace that he wants it to, and being able to control the game that way. First seeing it when we played junior hockey against each other. So, just extremely impressive, and has obviously put together a pretty incredible resume.
Going back to what you said about the community events, fair to say that it's been a team-wide discussion the past couple of days, coming off the Armed Forces Night and the outdoor practice?
I think so, a little bit. I think it gives good time to kind of, see more than just the competitive element and playing, and just, we haven't had these events really over the last number of years, right? So it's just a little reminder, and obviously brings us back, to what it means to play here, and what this city, this community, and obviously Leafs Nation means to the organization, and how much they love the team, how much they believe in the team. So, no doubt, I think it's was at a good time, just the way the schedule kind of set up, and taking some time away from, being in the facility and obviously preparing and competing, and focus on what we got to do for our next game and how we got to be better to just, connecting again with our fan base and the city.
At the gala, you and Mitch doing the notebook scene. What was that like? What was your first reaction?
Did that get out publicly? I'm assuming. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. It was funner than I expected. I was a little nervous and really didn't think I have any type of acting skill, but got a few compliments from the guys and from my table that I was sitting at. So thought I did all right. It was obviously a lot of fun, and Mitchie's just got great personality for that type of stuff. So I think we had a good scene that kind of got us both really drawn into it, and had some fun with it.
It's actually fitting. It was Mitch, and you guys continue to play together even with Austin potentially coming back here. I'm just wondering do you feel the chemistry is any different from that first magical season? How has it evolved, you and Mitch?
Yeah, I think it's definitely evolved. I think just probably everything we've been through as a team. At times we haven't played together. And I think just obviously the way our team plays and the way, the identity of the group and the way, Keefer's implemented certain things and whatnot. So, but still I think there's a strong understanding of us as people, and I think obviously knowing the strengths of our us as players and how we play off that, I think it's really strong and connected really well, obviously, when I first came here. So, but I do think there's been an evolution to it.
JT, what have the challenges been playing against teams that aren't playoff, bound teams, and what can you do better as a top-notch team to play better against them?
Yeah, we've had some good games, and obviously some games where we've maybe haven't grabbed a hold of the game, or we've let momentum change hands, and then obviously reestablishing that. Whether that's a team that's excited about that opportunity, they find some life, and maybe they haven't had it for a little while, and they seem to really thrive on that. So we talked about playing really connected, and a lot of these teams are really strong off transition, and just how key the neutral zone is, and not obviously giving up opportunities, and for us to not spend time on our end and obviously generate on our forecheck and have the puck in our hands, which is our strength. So I'd say some of those things are definitely keys for us, and that we have to focus on.
What sort of response are you expecting from the group coming off Saturday's game?
Strong one. Obviously we didn't come up to the level we wanted to play, so we're looking for a strong response tonight, and we'll look forward to it. So we're well prepared tonight.
What do you think has been the biggest challenge against these teams that are lower in the standings?
It's a tough question. We just got to learn that nothing is taken for granted in this league. All teams are really good, even if they're not high up in the standards or in the standings or anything like that. But it's still the NHL. Every team is really good. So we just got to find a way to come up in the level we want to play, because we're playing for something big here. So we need to learn that for sure.
Coach told us yesterday when talking about putting in Connor Timmins and taking out Justin Hollins and Pierce tonight. He said there's competition for jobs on this team on the blue line. Obviously, don't give me a reason to take you out, was basically the message. Do you feel that? Do you feel the competition among you guys for playing time and the starting assignments? I
don't think that's the main focus, at least not for me. I don't think I feel it in that way. I think just you need to play as good as you can, because we have 7 or 8, so obviously there is a competition. I don't think that's the main focus of every guy. I think everyone just wants to play as good as they can and help the team in any way they can. But Connor's played really good for us now too, and I can understand that they want to get him in the lineup, obviously. He's played terrific for us, so I'm excited to play with him tonight.
What is it specifically that you've appreciated about this game?
Just how he plays the puck. He finds crazy lanes to make plays. He's very creative out there. I feel like he's pretty simple to play with, because I played with him before. I know him as a person, and I know him pretty well as a player as well. So he's very vocal out there. He helps out, and he's making terrific plays. So as I said, he's been playing terrific for us.
Very unusual for you guys to have a losing record when Austin's out of the lineup. What's it mean to have him back now?
Yeah, it's great. Obviously it's Austin, so you want him in the lineup every time you can. So we're obviously very excited and very happy to see him back tonight.
You went William pretty well. What goes through your mind when he takes his first career roughing penalty? Saturday?
It's about time, I'd say. But no, I think, obviously we don't want to play on the PK, but at the same time, I think, it shows emotion. It shows, the level of his competitiveness. And, I think, as I said, we don't want to play on the PK, but at some time, I mean, it's going to happen. You're not always going to take smart penalties, but I think it just shows that, he really cares, and he was a little frustrated, and, he took it down, that little guy. So, as I don't like it, I kind of like it as well.
Are you seeing a bit of a different William this year, or people on the outside making too much of that? And has he changed a little bit?
I think just his effort has gone up a little bit, every single game. I think you can always see the last couple of seasons too. I mean, he's always played terrific, but, I think some games, I mean, this year, I think his standard has been a little bit higher. I think every game he's coming into work, he's working hard, he's doing everything he can for the team. So something I really appreciate with him this year.
What stands out to you about Patrick Kane?
There's lots of things stands out with him. I mean, obviously he's a great player, had a great career. So yeah, it's always fun playing against him. So looking forward tonight playing against him again.
John was talking about his table read with Mitch there at the gala, the notebook. What was going through your mind when they were doing that? Yeah, I don't know. That was a little different to see them doing that stuff, but I think everyone enjoyed it. I mean, the other guys that don't know him personally, I think that was great for them to see a different side of them, and I get to see that side sometimes, and especially from Mitch. I mean, he is who he is. So, but it was great for everyone, and we had a lot of fun, and it was great from them too to have some fun with it. So I think everyone enjoyed it. Austin coming back, him and William staying together, but John and Mitch, like, they had that great first season here, and what stands out to you about their chemistry together?
Yeah, I mean, they're just finding each other really well out there. I think, even if they play Austin with Mitch, or if they play Willie with John, or whatever they do, I mean, they're top players in this league and in the world. So I think whoever you put them with, they're going to play pretty good hockey. So, but they've played terrific, and yeah, it's always fun being out there with them, because you never know when you're going to get the puck, or you never know when the puck's going to be in the net. So I just enjoy being out there with them.
Mark, what sort of response you expected from the group coming off Saturday?
Yeah, we expect obviously to have a big game. I think we're obviously happy the way things went the other night. So anytime that happens, we've been sitting on that one for a while. So we're looking forward to playing tonight and getting back on track.
What's the biggest, challenge mentally when you're facing a team below you in the standings?
Well, we know they're gonna play with a lot of energy. They got a lot of speed. For us, it's just about ourselves, really. It's about getting back to the details that make us successful. I think when we're at our best, we're not giving up much to the other team, and we got to get back to that.
Obviously, no one likes to get scratched, but when Justin gets taken out of the lineup, used to being in it. Do you say anything in a situation like that to him, or?
Not much. I think he's a veteran guy who's been around, and we just know that those things are going to happen with the amount of depth we have in our lineup. Guys are going to come in and out, and no matter who's in or who's out, we know we can be successful. But as far as Haller, we all know what he means to our team and what type of person he is and player he is, and I'm sure obviously he'll get right back to it.
How much internal competition do you sense amongst the defensemen for ice time and things like that?
Yeah, there's a ton of competition throughout our lineup, I think. But as far as defensemen go, we know right now we have 8 healthy guys, I believe, who can all step in any position really and play, and we've proven that all year. So it's good for a team to have a lot of depth, and we know we have that here for sure.
What's impressed you the most about Connor's kind of, evolution this season?
Well, I think not really knowing him before this year, he's a guy who has a really heavy shot. I didn't know that about him. He possesses a really heavy shot, but I think his number one asset that I've seen is his ability to move pucks and get pucks out of his zone and break out, and just a good all-around young defenseman. So another, again, like you said, a lot of depth in our organization. Another young guy who can step in and play whenever we need him.
What's it like going up against Patrick Kane?
Well, it's tough. I think he's obviously who he is for a reason. He makes plays under pressure all the time. I think you have to always be aware of where he is on the ice. And you also have to be aware of where his options are because he's one of the best passers ever to play.
He's at that moment where he might have to face the reality of pulling on a different sweater when he's only worn one. How was that experience for you when you went to Seattle?
It's weird. It's a weird situation when you've been somewhere for your whole career, and I'm sure he's thinking about it, and thoughts are going through his mind, different emotions. But yeah, it's definitely a guy who, when you think about Patrick Kane, you think about him winning Stanley Cups in Chicago for sure.
Now, he hasn't having the greatest season, but Chicago's not having the greatest season. Like, what sort of impact, what regard do you hold him in as a guy who can be an impact player still at this stage?
Oh, I think he's an impact player. I've been on teams who are successful. I've been on teams who are lower in the standings, and it's all relative to numbers. And, his numbers are going to reflect where the team is as a whole. But I still look at him as an elite player, one of the best players in the game still.
Gala Monday. I'm just curious, what's going through your mind when Tavares is doing a line from the Notebook?
I was pretty impressed with the emotion, so it was good. It was a fun event. They sort of threw that idea at us, and I thought the guys responded well. I thought we all did a great job.
It was kind of fitting he was with Mitch. They're still playing together. Like, I know we ask a lot about Mitch and Austin, but what have you noticed about John and Mitch together?
Yeah, I feel like on and off the ice, it's been obviously a good fit and good chemistry, and it was fitting for sure that they were together in that gala. But I feel like our top guys, they've all played with each other for such a long time now, especially they all get together on the power play, so they have good chemistry with each other, whoever's with whoever.
Sheldon, Austin, good to go tonight?
Yes.
That will obviously provide a spark, but just in general, what sort of response are you looking for coming off Saturday?
Well, yeah, it's obviously, anytime you lay an egg, you want to come back and have a good effort, but really our focus is more like Friday, less like Saturday. We did a good job on Friday on the road, and it's disappointing to come back and have two periods like we did to let the game get away on us here after taking control of the game in the first period. But yeah, Friday's recipe was pretty good, and we're gonna look to get back to that.
What stands out to you the most about Patrick Kane coaching him against him?
Just how much you have to be aware, take away his time and space, and take away his options. That's just really important. He's the vision and the skill and the ability to control a game is better than anybody, really, in terms of how he can slow the game down, speed the game up when he wants to, and find people. He's an exciting player to watch that way, but he's certainly not one we want to watch. We need to be able to get on top of him quick.
Notice a bit more, you guys, defense especially, you're deliberately shooting wide, looking for that carom off the backboard, or in tight, trying to go off the goalie for rebounds. Is that something conscious, or just?
We're trying to get more pucks onto the inside, and in some cases it is getting into the goalie, and then others, those lanes are clogged because other teams are blocking shots, they're in lanes, whatever it might be, and you still want to accomplish the same thing, and using the wall is a way to do that. Obviously, we'd like to be direct and get there as quickly as we can, but I think it's something we talk about, but I think it's just, it's an option that the defensemen know what they have if they are not comfortable in shooting because lanes are blocked.
Morgan gets on the board on the power play the other night, first power play goal from a defenseman. Is that a byproduct of the way this power play works with you guys, or is that an area you think there's potential growth down the stretch here?
Yeah, I think there's growth. In that one, obviously, it's not one that comes in a traditional way that a defenseman would score in terms of shooting from the top. But, I think if you look at a lot of the power plays in the NHL these days, there's not a whole lot of goals that come from the top on the power play. That's just the reality of it. Some teams and some players certainly have the ability to do that, but there's very few, frankly, who have the ability to score from the top there. There's certainly a lot less than used to happen, years and decades ago. But we'd like to get more pucks, into the net from that spot. And in doing so, I think, the odd one will find its way in, whether it's through traffic or directing off something. So that's an overall theme for us is just to really have an increase in the pace and the consistency in which the puck arrives to the net. So that's all the players on the ice buying into that. And I think we have seen that for some time now. But it so happened that, there's a little bit of improvising the other night with Willie to Mitch and then to Morgan. But we think through the process of attacking the net consistently, we'll get more of those types of plays that are broken that we can, improvise on.
What's your biggest challenge here in the final 25 to 30 games? What's your biggest challenge as a coach?
Well, I think there's a few things there. I think it's keeping the focus on the daily process of improving and having our game ready and not looking too far down the road. I mean, we know what we're building towards and working towards, but we need to continue to build and work towards that, not just wait for it to come. So that's really what it is for me, is just focusing on our daily process. And obviously got away on us the other day, so it's a really good opportunity for us to lean in on the guys and teach and reinforce what we want to be about as a team. And then you get another game here tonight. So we got a little bit of time here in terms of the schedule. Coming back from the break, we played the back-to-back, but there's it's a pretty light schedule here through the week. But then it starts to really heat up for us between, the stretch starting Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, and then, then we're going to be heading out not long after that to a very difficult road trip and things like that. So those kind of things are going to keep us focused and dialed in, and there's going to be, managing the energy levels and stuff of our team, like everybody down the stretch. But to me, it's just keep the focus on what we can control on a daily basis.
How much do you lean on them after that Columbus loss? Obviously, you weren't happy with it. How much do you lean on it versus just, the group that's been together for a while, they know that they didn't have to do?
There's no question that they know. I think it allows you to, both in the fact that there's a little bit of a break in the schedule here, since we played that game. Allows that in itself allows some time for reflection, time for discussions and meetings with individuals and with the team collectively. But our guys know, and they felt it the other night too. They weren't happy with it, but we'd like to be, rather than being unhappy after the fact, we want to be able to address and fix things while they're happening. That's what good teams do. And we weren't able to do that the other night. Obviously, we got a big power play goal to start the third period, and you thought, okay, we'll be okay here now, and then wasn't enough from there. But just in terms of our individual process, habits, details, all those types of things, when that slips, it's a good chance to, to get the team get refocused, and we'll expect better tonight.